Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied and rule well for the hopeful 144 and the one third of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of great millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. It's your brother, Kanan, and this will be titled False Hope, aka Don't Believe the Hype. Okay, it's 2025, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is uncovering the cast of wickedness. Okay, he's revealing the wicked like he promised throughout these scriptures. Okay, this is part of the process. All right, and we're in the grand finale of this of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's production, leading in from the handing over the kingdom from the wicked to the righteous. Okay, so what you're looking here is another example of false hope. This is an image from the election a night ago in New York, where this is supposed to be America, United States of America. Okay, but of late here, they've been shoving it straight in our face, the propaganda of who we really serve. Okay, where our tax dollars, where the loyalty of our so-called leaders, supposed representation, belongs to who? The Israelis, not Israel, not you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. No, we're the enemies spoken of in Psalms 83. Enemies hated of all nations. No, this is the lead of this wicked world. Okay, Edom, starting with Amalek. Look at that picture. I mean, you can't make it clearer. You see one United States flag. This is the New York election, and you see all of this support for the Israelis, the Ish wannabe sort of kind of people who Yahweh Bashim Shai has exposed along with him and his other tribesmen, meaning Edom, Esau, okay, Amalek being of the first of them, the miniature hatters, the tiny toppers, whatever you want to call them, the curly cues, okay, the wicked, the ratish, okay. So once again, this is going to be false hope coming from you so-called the so-called leaders of this nation. Okay, the where we're at the end of Edom's kingdom. Okay, and the Lord is exposing these devils through the mouths of the prophets. Okay. All right, through the mouths of the prophets, all right, not through media and truths and the the goodness of the heart of men. No, by the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. So let's get this. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28, and this is a quick history lesson for our people, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, including you speckled birds who look like other nations because we've been scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. Okay, yet our heritage, our lineage, our seed, our father goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, or there could well not Abraham and not Abraham and Ishmael, not Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, but Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, shall bring thee into Egypt again. Key word again. Okay, we left up out of Egypt. Moses brought up out of Egypt. Okay, with ships. Okay, so I'm gonna read that again. And the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Now, how did we leave Egypt? We all know about the great Moses leading us by feet. All right, the Lord parting the Red Sea, parting it so we could walk through the Red Sea, and then and shut it up on top of the chariots of the Egyptians, okay, which are Hamites. All right. But this says again with ships. Well, we walked out of Egypt, but this time we'll be carried into Egypt in ships. That's that trilateral transatlantic slave. Okay. That's what that is. That's part of that. Us going into those ships to be the southern tribe to be brought over here at the same time. Tri-Atlanta, tri meaning as the southern tribes was coming in to this land over here in the northern region, the most farthest region of the earth. So with the northern tribe being carried out of the land that they already had possessed over here. Okay. So throughout those same ships, okay, one of the popular ships, one of the first ships was um, had the name of Jesus, all right, and funded by who? The Ish people, okay. So once again, and Yahweh Bashmi Shah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. Oh, I mean, is this not part of our story, part of our heritage? For bondmen and bound women, okay? And no man shall buy you. And that no man shall buy you literally means no man shall save you from these conditions. And I brought this first to the light because these are the exact same conditions that we're living in today. November 5, 2025. Nothing has changed. Yasharala, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, including you speckled birds, are still under these curses. Okay, the Lord never said he would lift them off until the very end. And we're going to get this, okay? This is the book of, oh, and by the way, let me give you a clear understanding of what Yahweh Basim Yahushua said right there. Who is this? This is the depiction of Teddy Roosevelt, a servant, a Edomite, a peasant on the horse, meaning that he had established power. Who is that? You got your northern and southern tribe, kings, gods, okay? Gods chained in flesh, but kings of the earth reduced down to peasants. On your right hand, there's Judah, the southern tribe. On your left hand, there is Gad or Benjamin, your northern tribe, okay? Making up, resembling together, this proves that the northern and southern tribe are in captivity over here in spiritual Babylon to this day. Okay. Yes, the chains physically have come off, but mentally they have become tighter. And believe me, Esau today, he is preparing to put you, Jake, back in these chains, along with hell, the rest of the world. Okay. Not just through physical chains, but through the digital chains, okay? Through that MOTB. All right, which will be nothing but a form of world class slavery. Okay, so once again, that's what Deuteronomy was saying. You would be sold into bondsman and bound woman, and no man can save you. And to this day, we live under these conditions. Now let's get it. This is the book of Isaiah 31:1. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. And what's the form of going down to Egypt for help? Believing in this system. Okay. We all know the snaps has been put on hold since November 1st, and the condition that is put millions of Americans, okay? And it's been a burden to those who have depended on it, okay? Also, in the form of going down to Egypt for help is one major thing. Voting, believing in this system. All right, believing in this false system. And we're going to get to that, okay? Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses. And what's that horse once again represent? Power, okay? And trust in chariots. All right, and that chariots is that military might, believing in the power that Edom says that they can enforce throughout the world because they are many. And horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Yasharallah, okay? Yahweh, Basmi Shah, neither seek. the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So he's going to get all that is involved, not just from the top, Edom, but all the nations and all the people that conspire with Edom, including ours, the 2/3 of our people that go hand in hand with this brand of wickedness. And Lord willing, we're going to bring that out. Okay. Now the Egyptians are man, and who are our current Egyptians, because these are Egyptians are spiritual. Remember, the Lord already spoke of that we left up out of Egypt, but we will return. Okay, so we left up out of physical Egypt, which is over in the eastern region known as Africa, the continent, and now we're serving over here in spiritual Egypt, in the farthest northern west region over here in United States of America. Okay, spiritual Babylon, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, serving out the last captivity. All right. Now the Egyptians are man and not God. That's right, because Yahweh Bashim Shah has set them up, and they're the base of man, the most foul and the gross, the test of man. Okay, and their horses flesh and not spirit. And once again, those horses are would today would be their current forms of military of and just military source. You know, your tanks, your planes, what not what type of armory. It's still all of of minerals and sources, all created from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay, for this purpose. All right. Now, the Egyptians are man and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh Bashem shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is upon shall fall down. So anybody that is a part of the system or dependent on the system will go down with it. And they all shall fail together. And this is a promise. The Lord is not sparing those. There will be no excuses of non-understanding or ignorance in that day. Okay. You're either on board with Yahweh Bashim Shah, or you will be seen as the enemy. And that's exactly what you are. Okay. This is the book of Mark 13 and 19. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which Yahweh Bashim Shai created unto this time, neither shall be. Okay, so we're in this time, we're in the finale, the grand finale of once again the kingdom of the wicked entering into the kingdom of the righteous. Okay, there will be the biggest war that's ever took place in mankind. Okay, we're in that we're in the beginning of the end stage of this. Okay, so there's no going back. All right, and except that Yahweh Bashim Shah had shortened those days, and these are the times we're in now, no flesh shall be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. Okay, so this is a promise that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has made, that he will shorten this time just to spare the elect that he's already preordained to bring through this situation. Okay, some will give their life as martyrs, but the majority of the election will not have to face death, will not have to taste the pain anymore, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has promised this. Okay, as for the 2/3 of our people, the majority 2/3 will go through the same punishment on this side as the heathen. Okay, and on the other side will be on the other side, meaning when heaven shall take place, when as it is in the prayer, thy will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. When this takes place, all of Yasharallah will come back in their right minds. Okay, under the election, the 144,000 and the 1/3 of Yasharala. Okay, but until that time, 2/3 of our people will face the judgment, okay, of a heathen. All right. So this is why Yahweh Shah says in verse 20, and except that Yahweh Shah has shortened those days, no flesh shall be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, preordained from the beginning, he he hath shortened the days. Okay, this is the book of Numbers 23 and 19. Yahweh, Ba'ashmi Shai, is not a man that he should lie. Now, do you get this? This is the point where this takes the Bible to no debate. You either have an understanding that is blessed to you through Yahweh Bashmi Shah, which is wisdom, known as Sophia, wisdom. That is given from Yahweh Bashmi Shah. That is not earned. That is not brought. There is not a certificate that will give you the Holy Ghost, the Rakakwadash, and give you understanding. No, those theological schools, we refer to them as cemeteries, are not of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? Once again, this wisdom, this understanding cannot be purchased. Okay? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is not a man that he shall lie, neither the Son of Man. Okay? He wasn't created by our hands, he created us. Okay? That he should repent. Okay, he has nothing to turn back from. This is written from the beginning, and it's going to all play out the way that he wanted it to. Okay, had he said, and he shall not do it? That's right. Does he go back on his word? Never. Or has he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Now let's back that up. Okay, so this is not somebody's one-time opinion of the Lord. Well, he said that there, but then in the New Testament, no, it never changes. Okay? This is Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. Okay, once again, his instructions, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, his will. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. Okay, that will once again in the prayer and in the Lord's prayer it says, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. So ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to make sure that this earth is ran in order. Okay, not in the chaos, not in the upside down, backwards world that we live in now. Okay, full of violence and wickedness and wrong. Okay, and iniquity on top of Latin iniquity, iniquity on iniquity. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, meaning that not one commandment or suggestion from Yahweh Bashim Shah should be left undone. Okay, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall purpose in the things whereto I sent it all 100%, 100, not 90, not 95.5, 100%. Okay, as it is written, shall be done. All right, this is the book of Romans 3, Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? And that's the world we live in. Now, I just gave you two examples where Yahweh Bashar Shah said he is not a man that he can lie. And I gave you another example, said that nothing that he commands should go out and not return without it fulfilling his will. Okay. So for us, those who trust in Yahweh Bashim Shah, the hopeful election on this side, because that's all we have, that we have the belief, and it's a gift from Yahweh Bashim Shah to even say this and acknowledge this. Okay. We know we're not black African Americans. We're not Indians. We're not Mexicans. We know that we're of these 12 tribes of Yasharala. He prince of power. Okay, for Romans 3:3. For what is some did not believe amongst our people are non-believers. The two-thirds. Okay, shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua without effect. Now, as far as these 17 nations, it's not given to them to believe. Them believing or not would be fruitless because salvation is not for them. So this is directed to our people. Romans, this is Paul directing this to our people. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua without effect? Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua forbid. Hell no. Yea, let Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in the saying, and mighteth overcome when thou be judged. So you stand with this word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, and the truth can never be defeated by a lie. So you will be justified because this is through the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay? Long as you don't add or take from this and you prophesied it as it is meant to be. Okay? And you speak it and as it is spoken. Okay? You don't come to build your own house. You come to the foundation that is built upon and you build with it correctly. Okay? All right. So once again, somebody these Christians, these atheists, these false hope religions cannot stir us or guide us away from our faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua because once again, it is a gift. Now Yahweh Bashim Yahushua can take that Rakakwadash, that Holy Spirit from you, okay, and you'll be bugged out and placed out, okay. So once again, those in the know, we know that our trust and our hope is in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It is not in man. Okay, once again, this is named false hope, aka don't believe the hype. This is fair use 107, fair use copyright. I am not selling a product. This is strictly for education purposes. I pray that this be edifying.
More coarse and mean, more coarse and mean our culture can become. We've witnessed it. Elections do matter, and they matter for you. People in power may be counting on your citizens. They want you to think there's nothing you can do, nothing to stop them, because they know once that thought worms into your head, they've won.
Now, actually, Yasharala, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, we've already touched down. We're in captivity. Okay, this is not your rest. This is not our kingdom. There is nothing you can do. And when it comes to this man's game, okay, this is a game that you can never win. Okay, this is the game of Esau's sword versus our blessing. Okay, hope and faith and salvation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, okay? And Yasharala, he Prince of Power, our Father, lifting these curses off of us and and forgiving us, lifting this sentence off of us that we're actually right now in. We're in a sentence, okay? So there is nothing you can do. This is blind hope. Once again, don't believe the hype.
But if there's one thing history has taught us, it is the most important office in democracy is not president or even governor, it's the office of citizen. We all have more power than we think.
So, Jake, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, have you felt the power over here? Over here in spiritual Babylon, the way you've been abused and misused, okay, to this very day. And once again, the temperature is now being the water's boiling. If you're a fog, You're in that water. You're starting to cook now. Okay, Jake.
We just have to use it. So if you believe in that better story of America, do not sit this one out.
That is a message that Ed Giles gets.
I go to church every Sunday. Pray that things will get different. We have to be prayers alone aren't going to do it.
Now, first of all, salvation is not for this Edomite. Now, however, we don't preach that. We don't teach that every man that looks like him is an Edomite. Okay. Now we know the majority of Edomites will come in this image, but just say he is a Jake, assuming he could be a Jake. He could be. He's a 2/3. He's still in that Gentile mentality. So once again, at least he repent. Salvation's not for him on this side.
People's going to do it. God's with us. But people have to. We have to be prayers alone.
If you believe in that better story of America, do not sit this one out.
Now listen, I got scriptures that will go opposite, contradict everything that you're listening to right now.
That is a message that Ed Giles gets.
I go to church every Sunday. Pray that things will get different. We have to be prayers alone aren't going to do it. People's going to do it. God's with us. But people have to. We have to do it. You know, prayers are fine, but we have to do something. You know, there's nothing more to say except we have to keep fighting, and hopefully we'll come out smiling at the end.
Dude, from your mouth.
Now, the scriptures never spoke of Yasharallah going on a million man march, marching the streets singing, "We shall overcome." None of these things. Okay. All right. So, once again, this is not the way that this system is set up. You pray for it to fall, not for a way of survival in this system. But let's get it though. This is the book of Hosea 8, verse 2. Israel shall cry unto me. Who is Israel? Once again, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, so-called. Those are bywords and bywords and Salakia, bywords spoken of in Deuteronomy 28. And I want to say nicknames, but harsher than that. Okay, that we're being called. All right, Israel shall cry unto me, my Allah, my power. We know thee. Yasharallah have cast off the things that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. Okay, and what you just listened to was the form of the enemy. That's that wolf in sheep clothing. Okay, Obama was not of our people. He was a Hamite. He did not have us in his heart. He was never set up for our people. And to this day, he is no more than a distraction. Once again, false hope. If you believe in the words that are coming out of his mouth, because he falls in line with the enemy. His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His softer than oil, but swords was being drawn, roughly paragraphing. Okay, he's part of that. Set up as once again, read Psalms 83. All of the nations are conspiring against us. They're all in Confederate league against you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, the true Israelites. Okay, not that symbol that you seen at the beginning. Those are the bastards that dwell in our land. Okay, the who Yahweh Shai has set up as his enemy. Israel have Hosea 8:3. Israel have cast out the things that is good, that the enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by me. Do you hear this? They have made princes, and I knew it not. Okay. And once again, voting is a form of your putting your hope and your faith in this same system. Okay, these kings and princes that are not of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols. Okay, that goes along with the fiats in our pocket to this day, that they may be cut off. Okay, because all of these things lead to sin, which is the cause of death. Okay, to not be with the Lord is to be with the enemy. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors. Who are those children? Edom. Okay, he is the base man. Okay, and women rule over them. And once again, look at the situation today. Along with these elections, more women was established in leadership leader seats. Which again, it says, and women rule over them. This is not the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. This is the signs of the downfall of a kingdom. Things being backwards, okay, and not in their proper alignment. They which lead thee cause thee to err. And who is the leaders? All of the wicked. Okay, all of the wicked, starting with Edom, starting with Amalek, the little hatters, but Edom and these other nations, they cause us to err, okay, and destroy the way of thy paths, because there's only one true path. All right, and that's the path that leads to righteousness through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, through the law, statutes, and commandments only given to Yasharallah. Okay, to you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, and you speckled birds. All right, this is the book of Isaiah again, 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know. My people doth not consider. Okay? We don't know what we doing. I guess we don't know who we voting for. All right? When we go out and do this. Look, this is the type of leaders we believe in. Look at that. That's her. Oh, Salakia. That's your America's I want to say she's the spokesperson. She did the spokesperson. Yeah, Pam Bondi. She's part of the FBI setup through this man. Been around this man since a little kid. Okay, these are the people that we look to for insight. Look at that, Elon Dusky. Outright this demon. You know what I'm saying? Self-willing demon. Look at that. That's your vice president. That's the vice president right now, Vance. Okay, supposed to be about Christian ethics or whatever, but we know they have no relationship with the Lord. So look at that. That's the people that our people have turned to when they go and put these votes in. All right, just to let you know. And Obama's no better. Once again, he is not of us. Okay? So once again, Isaiah 1:3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Yasharallah does not know. My people does not consider. And let's get this.
Endorsed. Think of it. Appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician.
You see that? A dangerous path our people are going down. Once again, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, docile animals, okay? But Yasharallah doth not know, my people doth not consider. A sinful nation, a people laden, smeared on, thickened with iniquity. Iniquity is already multiplied sin. A seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They have provoked the Holy One of Yasharallah unto anger. They are going away backwards, and that's why we're still in these conditions today. That's why we are still being punished to this very day. Those who saying we're in the second covenant, covenant of what? Sickness, helpless, disease, death. That's no covenant I want to be part of. Okay, that's not the covenant that's practiced, that's promised to us through Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye shall revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint, the whole mind faint. And little do you know, a simple thing like going to vote is just as ass backwards and bad and devastating. Okay, you good? You putting yourself in a bad position right now, having any faith in this man's system. When it's time for us to wake up and be prepared, because salvation is nearer than you ever believed it is. Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Thou shalt in any way set him king over thee. Thou shalt in any way set him king over thee, whom Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, thy Allah power shall choose. Okay, one from amongst the brethren. Okay, thy brethren, Salaki, one from amongst thy brethren, thy our people, shall thou choose, shall thou set over Salakia. Let me get this straight. Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Thou shalt in any way set him king over thee, whom Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, thy Allah shall choose. One from amongst thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not, never, no ways set a stranger over thee, which is not of thy brethren. Is that clear? Can that be any clearer? We've already read that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is not a liar. So if he told us not to do it, this is what he meant. This is what he commanded us. Okay, this is what he commanded us. I'm gonna read this one more time. Deuteronomy 17 and 15. Well, if you don't vote, you're doing the right thing. You're putting your trust and faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, not in your oppressor, the wicked. Thou shalt in any way set him king over thee, whom Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, thy Allah, shall choose. One from amongst thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brethren. Okay, I pray that that was clear and directly to the point. Now,
Of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's
now, what does the Lord say about that mentality? We got it right here. Amos 3 and 1. Hear this word that Yahweh Bashim Shah has spoken against you, O children of Yasharallah, against the whole family. What is a family? How do you get to a family? All right, through your father's seed, through your father's seed, through his offsprings. Okay, your mom is the ground. Okay, the soil. The father is the seed. All right, hear this. Hear this word that Yahweh Bashim Shai has spoken against you, O children of Yasharallah, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, where we are now. Okay? Saying, and this is where he will bring us out of once again, Egypt, spiritual Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities, for your sin on sin, because we was the only one given these laws, statutes, and commandments. Can two walk together except they be in agree? And you see what Scott is agreed to, okay? The wicked. All right. This is the book of Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Shai, as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. So that's why you see DJ Trump making all of these cruel moves that he's making right now. Everything from the ISIS, okay, to blowing up random boats out in the international waters, okay, regular fishing boats, man. People just trying to live, blowing them up, starting strife here, funding genocide here, okay. All kind of chaos being done because once again, this is the time that the Lord is exposing the men of wicked, okay, Edom, his nation, and all of these other nations too. And he's bringing the world to understand. So once again, the king's hearts is in the hand, the kings, plural, all the world's leaders. Hearts is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. So you should see that there's nothing you can do against this. Okay, this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, and ultimately, this is the path that we're going down. All right. This is what Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is establishing. And this is the blessing. All right. This is the blessing. This is good for you, Jacob. Not bad. You just have to have the heart, the understanding, which again is a gift from Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. This was not just taken. This was given from Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. Okay. This is second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? The end of what? This currently evil world that we live in, ruled by who? Edom. Okay. And the beginning of what? The righteous kingdom, led by who? Yahweh Shai. Okay. Yasharallah. All right. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, twin brothers, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Why? Because they was battling inside Rebekah's womb, okay, up to birth. For Esau is the end of the world that we're in now, not the end of the world. The world blows up, the end of this current time, this eon, this kingdom. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And once again, what if some don't believe? Fuck them. They'll find out the hard way. Okay, this is for the believers. This book, this Bible is for the believers. Okay, the saints who put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, sticking with second Esdras, we're going to move on to second Esdras chapter 15, starting at verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, the words of prophecy. And that's exactly what we do. We bring this to you before it happens, all right? To bless those who have eyes to see, who Yahweh Bashim Yahushua have given eyes to see, and those who he have chosen to awaken, all right? Also to condemn and let Edom and the rest of these nations know that your judgment is upon you. The words of prophecy, which I will put in the mouth and put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. Now, what's that? Didn't we read that already? What if some did not believe? I said it. Fuck them. All right, that's their problem. Trouble thee. that speak against thee. And it starts with our people. Oh, and definitely you, Eve. Your big loud ass mouth. Hey, y'all gotta just have your own concern and think about it. Don't be letting these Hebrew men lead you down the man. Fuck off. This is directly to you. And the scripture said, then she who is my enemy shall see it. Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Once again, two-thirds of our nation. I made the comment earlier. I think I hate you more than the Ku Klux Klan could ever hate you. For real. Due to your ignorance, due to your stupidity. Okay? For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. I mean, we got a better day coming. We got a kingdom promised to us, and you rather sit here and strive for this broken system to work. Man, fuck off. Behold, saith Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And this is where we're in the doorsteps of now. It's open. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hateful works are fulfilled. The wadi Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Therefore, saith the Lord. And see, this is why we are not to want any parts of this place to survive. We want this system to break quicker than it's being broken. It may, hey, we may have to go through the suffering. We will. It's called Jacob's trouble for a reason. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will be with his saints, okay? I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. Okay, once again, he's letting it out. He's casting out this judgment, which thy profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in these things in which they wickedly exercise to endure, to build up endurance in doing these things. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me from generations to generations to generations, and the souls of the just complain continuously. Let's think about this. You know, you got all the righteous prophets that Yahweh Shem Yahshua took him back to the heavens, King Mashah, Aqua Bivens, many my elder Anathba, rest in peace. They're asking the Lord, how long, Lord? How long? Okay. Along with Yahweh Shah up there pacing. Can't wait for him and Michael to get sit down. Go now. Okay. How long, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua? All right. Skipping down to verse 10. Second Esdras 15 and 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Okay. Wasn't that what Obama was telling you? Vote, 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 vote. Senator Scott, but I just love you, Trump. Behold, my people is led to the flock, Salakia. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. You ever seen that? Them taking those sheep in? Okay. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt once more, spiritual Egypt. Okay. This was written after the Exodus. Okay. So why would he be saying he wouldn't suffer us to dwell there if he's already taken us out there because he knew he was going to put us back in bondage? But I will bring them with a mighty hand and with a mighty hand, and I will and a stretched out arm. Let me read that correctly. Verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, which are going down now, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And this time, Egypt shall not be recovered. It will be known as a memorial. Okay, we're going to skip down Hebrew hopscotch down to Second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction. Now, who was blessed with that sword? Edom. Makes sense? Who is using it right now? Edom, all over the world. Spiritual Babylon, Russia, uh, Israel, Israeli, you name it. They're flexing the sword all over the world. You're seeing wars, rumors of wars, and more rumors of wars to come right now on the stage. Okay? For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. and swords in their hands. That's right. For there shall be sedition. What is that word sedition going to? The people going against the government for sake of tyranny, and that's where spiritual Babylon is experiencing right now. Tyranny from the cruel ruler, from the cruel king, DJ Trump, Nero, okay, and his influencers, both sides. Once again, the Democrat and the Republican, the patrician and Palladian, same thing, okay. Both two dirty feathers of a sick bird that needs to be taken out. Okay, for there shall be sedition amongst men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. And I gave you examples of their kings and princes. Fairies dressed up as females. Okay, that's the princes of this world today, this current wicked rulership, and the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, so the people are seeing what's going on, and it's going to cause an uproar. And man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able to. Why? That's that martial law. Okay, see, once again, this is called order out of chaos. They cause the chaos and they bring forth their brand of the order. Okay, and that's why Yahweh Shah said, if it wasn't for the sake of the elect, hey, if it wasn't for him shortening the time, no flesh should be saved. But for the sake of the elect, okay, which he had promised. All right. For because of their pride, and pride goeth before destruction, and that's the world we living in right now, amongst our people, amongst our people. The city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid. And you're not afraid now, but it's coming. Okay. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulations. Okay. And the Bible clearly goes on to say that, hey, the love of many shall wax cold. And we clearly have examples of that today. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah 19 and 1. Okay. The burden of Egypt, once again, spiritual Egypt. Behold, Yahweh Bashmi Shah rideth upon a swift cloud. Now, what have you been getting rumors of and getting insight on recently? This I3 Atlas, as Esau would call it, but never no less, they're pretty much starting to admit, yes, this IUP, with a AUP, whatever they call it, UFO, they exist. It's not a hint or a hunch no more. Now they're saying it's only a moment in time of their arrival. Now we know what they are. They're the chariots of the Lord. They're written of in these scriptures, okay? The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh shall ride up upon a swift cloud, once again, chariots, okay? And shall come into Egypt, spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, United States of America. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, okay? Idols, all these false religions, all these beliefs, this system, okay? Once again, this system, their government, and the heart of Egypt, the minds of Egypt shall melt, and the midst of it. And I will set up the Egyptians, and I will set Salaki, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Hey, civil war, and we're seeing it right now cooking up. We're seeing that, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you're seeing the smoke. So where soon come that fire, okay? And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, that ice raiding the nation, okay? Okay, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And once again, we got our wars and rumors of wars. Okay, and we're on the verge of this major civil war over here, spiritual Babylon. Okay, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council, the government thereof, and there shall seek, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits. And do they do that? Do they do that? Well, let's see. I got receipts. Here they go. They do that. World Economic Forum, World Evil Forum. Okay, that's that witch. I'll never let this go long as I can keep this receipt. Right after COVID, blowing in those people's face. Doing those enchantments. Okay, so they can keep their left hand power going, but their left hand is not as strong as Yahweh Shem Yahshua's right hand, not by far. Okay, so I'm gonna read this three again. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail, and the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council, starting with the government, the head. That's why you got this fucking these two last vegetated leaders of the United States of America, proving that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not a man that he can lie. He said he was gonna take the wisdom out of Edom. Now look at it. Look at the wicked council falling apart. The spirit of Egypt shall fail, and the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to their idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Now, did I not just give you an example? These are the people you want to go vote for, and that's who they put their loyalty and trust in. Okay, and to them left hand forces. All right, yeah, and to them satanic forces. Not looking to Yahweh Basim Yahushua. Neither can they. Okay, this is the book of Revelations 18, starting with verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, spiritual Babylon. Once again, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritual Egypt is fallen, and is become the inhabitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunken of the wine, that's that philosophy, okay, of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich, have gained strong through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people. Okay, come out of her. Meaning when those ICBMs start to fly, and they will, and they're written of in the scriptures, those arrows that should be shot off from one end of the earth to another. Okay, that Yahweh Shai in the same cloud that we just read of. Okay, when he said that, when it says that the Lord right up in Isaiah 19, when he cometh on that swift cloud, okay, and here he's saying, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come up out of her, my people, meaning that he will be beaming the election up to be protected from that, from those ICBMs, the ballistic missiles, that destruction, plus the lasers coming from those chariots, okay? That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, which is ultimately to be burnt. Okay, for her sins have reached up into the heavens, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she has rewarded you. And just think on the history of the past of you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. I don't want to hear about no Simeo, Simnesh, Simnite, whatever they call it. And I definitely don't want to hear about no Holocaust no more. We're tired of those. Okay, we are the people that the scriptures are written of. You are the imposters, okay, that Yahweh Basim Yahushua is exposing. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. Double the cup, double the cup, double the cup you got to pay. You going to take that sip and I'm going to shove it in your face. And the cup which she had filled, fill to her double. Okay. And I'm gonna end this like this. Once again, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is not a man that he can lie. You people want to put your trust in a place that's fallen, spiritual Babylon. Well, look how the Lord really truly feels about spiritual Babylon. Okay, Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom, a people before a place? Okay, Edom. Um Esau's people. Okay, with dyed garments from Basra. What is Basra? Like a pretty much like a capital, but once again, a people before a place, so it represents them. Just like Israel represents our people in name. Okay, this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, was that them chariots and the hosts, the army. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, okay? And thy garments like him that trotteth in the wine fat. Do you understand the image of that? Yahweh Shai in his garments stomping on them grapes, okay? Stomping on these haters like grapes. I have tried in the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sparkle upon my garments, and I will stain all my remnant. Now, when did he go back and take this back and say, I no longer want to do this to his enemies, the other nations? Okay. When? For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come, and the year of my redeem is come, and we pray that that is sooner than later. We pray that that's like tomorrow. Okay, we can't wait for these prophecies to be fulfilled. The MOTB, come with it. Okay, we understand why Trump is established and all the rest of these nations are acting the way they are. It's the time for them to go down and Yasharala to rise. Okay. And with that, this has been once again false hope. Don't believe the hype. I pray that this was edifying. Shalom.